Hello everyone. I made a video earlier talking about why I voted for President Trump, and I was watching some videos talking about black people who had voted for Trump, and black people are the only ones in America who almost completely supported Kamala. So when you go to the comment section of these videos about black men who have voted for Trump, it's a bunch of liberals talking about how black men are stupid, black men are uneducated, black men are ignorant, and it's almost always from a demographic of American that voted majority Trump. It's almost always a white man or a Latino man or an Asian man, uh, the majority of which voted for Trump, and they're all talking about how ignorant black men are because they did not vote 100% Democratic like in every other election. So the thing is that it's sort of like I was gonna say one thing. I was gonna say, you know, I was gonna say that this is just liberals get a free pass uh, to make racist statements against black men when black men are not slaves to the Democratic Party. So if you're a black conservative, then liberals have the right to disparage your intelligence, stuff like that. Um, so, but really, really, the real message of the 2024 election is that the real message of the 2024 election is that they're playing good cop, bad cop. And this has been true since slavery. I mean, you know, uh, for example, during slavery, a black American would escape slavery and head to the northern states, and the northern states would institute refugee slave laws, and they would not only would they send back the slaves to the south, but they would send back free blacks to the south, and things of that nature. So they're playing good cop, bad cop. So you know whether I hate to break it to you, but whether you're in a liberal state or a conservative state, or should I say a liberal county or a conservative county, because we're going by counties. So whether you're in a liberal county or conservative county, the majority of prisoners in the jail are going to be black. The majority of people living in the 10 cities, in whatever county you're in the United States, the majority of people living in 10 cities are going to be black. The majority of people getting shot by the cops are going to be black in any county. So I don't really see how being a slave to one party. Uh, I mean, uh, Obviously, black people were dying under Biden. Black people were dying under Obama. Black people were dying under Clinton. Black people were dying, uh, when Hillary Clinton was in office as Secretary of State. You know, black people were dying as Kamala Harris was running for president. And they're playing good cop, bad cop is what I'm saying. And obviously, um, it's very unlikely. It's very unlikely that the Democratic Party is going to be able to garner 90% of the black male vote. It's very unlikely that the Democratic Party is going to be able to garner the 90% of the black male vote again, because for example, if they didn't fall for Kamala Harris's promising to put every black man on welfare again, like every Democrat, if black men didn't 100% fall for Kamala Harris voting to put every black man on welfare, uh, if they didn't vote for uh, if they didn't vote against this idea that your president had, if they didn't vote against if they didn't vote for the concept that your president has to kiss your butt and go on these witch hunts to hunt down the racists, if they didn't vote for that in a race like this where it was basically where basically Trump was the racist king or whatever, if they wouldn't vote for vote for Democrats in a race like this, then it's highly unlikely that they're ever going to be able to get the majority of black men to. Well, obviously they did get the majority. They got 80% of black men, which is the second highest Trump. Which is the second highest Harris supporter group in the country. And yet they're constantly calling black men stupid, black men retarded, black men inferior. So what I'm saying is that they're playing good cop bad cop. They're if you look at the the history of liberals and conservatives, they're both on the same side. I mean, if you're driving through a wealthy neighborhood in Chicago, you're gonna get stopped by the cops just like if you're driving through a wealthy neighborhood in Dallas or Miami if you're a black man. So it's the same thing. They're playing good cop bad cop. It's the same thing. So my suggestion, if you're a black man, is don't get caught up in the day-to-day don't get caught up in the day-to-day. There is no I mean, let me tell you from experience, there is no check from the government that's going to solve your problems. If you knew what I knew about the American economy and the global economy, there is no check that's going to solve all your problems. You just need to preserve your values and continue going on. And if you think that everyone who votes differently from you is a racist, then you're delusional. If you think that everyone who votes differently from you is a racist, then you are delusional, which is precisely if you watch the 2024 election, every Democrat in the country thought that they were guaranteed to win. I mean, they had put a man through kangaroo court, and they had they had poisoned the well, and they had created this illusion that every Republican was racist. So if you think that you're gonna win just because you kiss people's butt until they don't give you what you want, then you're delusional. If you think that everyone who votes differently from you, if you think that everyone who has different values from you is a racist, then you're delusional, or a sexist, then you're delusional. And that's just the way that real life works. Like I said, they're playing good cop bad cop, and it doesn't really matter which of the two parties you vote for. It's just that first of all, you should be reading a couple of books, and you should read a couple of books on economics and stuff like that. You could watch a couple of podcasts or maybe a few documentaries online about economics and stuff like that. On either side, like I said, they're playing good cop bad cop. It's the same thing either way. You're just as likely. You're almost just as likely to go to prison, and you're almost just as likely to go to prison in a red state or a blue state. It's just that in red states they execute you, whereas in blue states they hold you in prison until you die, which is basically the same thing. So that's all I want to say is that that's the point of this video, which is that they're playing good cop bad cop. They're both on the same side. You know, that liberal friend of yours who's telling you that anyone who votes for Trump is a idiot. He's got Republican friends. Some of his supervisors are Republican. He's got Republicans in his family. He's got Republicans in his business. He's got Republican customers. He's doing business. He's living with and interacting with Republicans on a daily basis. And what you're gonna find out is that they're gonna stick together. So regardless of whether or not they're Democratic or Republican, they're on the same side, and you have to understand they're on the same side, and you have to make the most. First of all, you have to understand. You have to study economics. And so. And I would just like to say that it's not worth it to be alive. I'm almost 40. So it's not worth it to be alive if you have to. It's not worth it to be alive if the only way you can ever get a job is through a DEI program. It's not worth it to be alive if the only way you can ever get a job or feed your family is by some employer feeling sorry for you because of slavery. Because when you feed into liberalism, well, I hate to bring it up, I hate to break it to you, but they're gonna hold that over your head for the rest of your life. If you accept these DEI and these handout programs, no matter what you achieve, they're gonna hold it over you for the rest of your life that you can only succeed with their handouts. They're gonna hold it over you, so they're gonna say, "I own you because without this handout I'm giving you, you would be in the gutter." And it's not worth it to live under that. I mean, it would be better if you voted to dissolve the country than to have that be your only method of sustenance. So that's all I want to say for this video, and it's really long. I really spoke a lot longer than I wanted to, but that's all I wanted to say. So thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye.